Hello everyone. Today I would like to read out the fifth chapter titled The Map Mess from my manuscript The Map and the Eraser. This story is entirely fictional. Any resemblance to real persons, living or dead, or to actual events is purely coincidental. I'll read out the story. Raju carefully placed the sheets on which he had attempted to draw the world map into his school bag. He hoped to spend some time working on it at school. He thought to himself, anyway, I don't really have friends in school except for my so called buddies, Aaron and Calvin. If I get some free time, maybe I can try improving the map. That night, after all the struggle with the map, Raju slept peacefully. He hoped that the next day he would finally be able to draw a better one. The next morning followed the usual school routine. When the first period began, instead of the geography teacher, Mrs. Mehta, another teacher walked into the classroom. It was Mrs. Pallavi Sriram, the moral science teacher for the primary classes. As soon as she entered, the children stood up. "Good morning, ma'am," they said together. Mrs. Sriram smiled. "Good morning." Then she continued. "Mrs. Mehta is unwell today and is on leave. You may revise the first chapter or work on your assignment if you wish." Raju immediately took out his map sheets and placed them on the desk. Aaron and Calvin noticed them. Aaron leaned forward and said in his American accent, "Hey Raju, you haven't drawn this curve properly. That's my country's border. We would be losing a bit of our space if the map isn't correct." Calvin also looked closely. "And this time near my country isn't correct either. Why is it turning this way?" Danish, who was sitting behind him, leaned forward. "Let me see my country too," he said. "I hope you drew it correctly." Raju turned around and showed him the map. Danish frowned. "This part belongs to my country. The line shouldn't move this way." Soon another student stood up. "Show me," Iham said. "I want to see if my country's border is correct." He looked at the map and shook his head. "This curve isn't right." Slowly, more children gathered around Raju's desk. Mrs. Sriram quietly watched from her chair. She did not interrupt them. In fact, she smiled gently. It had been a long time since she had seen the diplomat children interact so openly. Even though they were arguing about borders, they were finally talking to each other. Each child had an opinion about the line and the curves on the map. Some of them were quite serious about the mistakes. Raju watched the discussion slowly turn into heated comments. Finally, he said, "Don't worry, I have a friend who can solve this problem." The children looked confused. "My eraser," he said, holding it up. "And I'm not blaming anyone," he added quickly. "It's the tracing paper that keeps slipping." Yusu said, "Don't blame the tracing paper. Try drawing it yourself." Raju sighed. "I'm not very good at drawing. That's why I use tracing paper. Every time it just slips away. Do you want to see?" Some of the children nodded. "We'll help you hold the paper," one of them suggested. Raju replied, "Thank you, but I would like to draw it myself. It's my assignment." Felix smiled. "All right then, let's see who the real culprit is." Jiao said, "Yes, show us." Raju placed the tracing paper carefully. A few students held the corners so it wouldn't move. Very carefully, Raju traced the map again. "I hope I get it right this time," he said nervously. "We hope so too," someone replied. "Otherwise, these lines will create more problems." Raju simply pointed to his eraser and said, "Don't worry, my friend is ready." When the tracing paper was removed, Raju began drawing the lines with his pencil. But once again, a few mistakes appeared. "Use your eraser," Fen said. "That curve is wrong. Erase and draw again." By now, the children realized that Raju was not making mistakes on purpose. The eraser worked quietly, fixing one line after another. But after repeated erasing, the paper began to weaken. Finally, a small tear appeared on the sheet. Raju looked tired. Then suddenly he said, "I have something interesting to show you. My father gave me this idea." The children became curious. "Show us," Haider said. Raju quickly pulled out another sheet, the drawing he had made the previous evening. It showed an oval shape with rivers, mountains, land, sky, birds flying freely. Gabriel looked at it and smiled. "Wow, that looks nice. Why keep the oval? You could draw any shape and fill it with mountains, rivers, plains, desert, anything." Raju's eyes lit up. "Thank you, that's a great idea." He took a fresh sheet of paper and began drawing again. Random shapes filled with mountains, rivers, plains, deserts, and birds flying freely in the sky. Soon the children forgot about the world map and its borders. They were now completely absorbed in the new drawing. For the first time, they were working together and enjoying it. Jacob said, "Why don't we all meet this evening and help each other with the assignment? After all, we all live in the same colony." Kadan nodded. "Yes, what time?" "5 o'clock, Raju suggested. "At the park. I'll bring the paper, tracing paper, pencils, and my eraser too." Just then the bell rang. Mrs. Sriram smiled as she left the classroom. The children quietly returned to their seats, waiting for the next teacher and for the evening meeting. Something had changed in class 6A. The silence had been erased, and the warmth of friendship slowly filled the room. That's all for the day. Do let me know your thoughts about the story by writing in the comment section. Thanks for watching and thanks for your time.